Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program Midday Discourse on Global Television. My name is Samuel Odi, and in the spirit of Eid Mubarak celebration, and we are still wishing our Muslim brothers and sisters happy Eid Mubarak. For those at home still having so much fun, we say congratulations to you guys, and may Allah answer all of our prayers and accept all of our sacrifices. So, on today's edition, we'll be looking at technology on electoral systems in Nigeria. Why we are focusing on this for now is because of the forthcoming election that will be happening in Ondo and Edo states in September 21st of September 2024 and also in November, respectively. So we'll just bring you up to speed with what the INEC chairman has sorted out from CSOs and other bodies in order for all of these electoral processes should go peacefully and without any form of havoc. The Independent National Electoral Commission has started collaboration with civil society organizations in mobilizing prospects registrants for upcoming governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states. The call came as part of the effort to ensure a smooth and efficient voters' registration process ahead of the polls. The INEC chairman, Professor Mohammed Yakubu, made the call at the second quarterly consecutive meeting with CSOs in Abuja. The Edo State governorship election would be held on September 21st, 2024, while that of Ondo State's governorship poll would be held in November 16th, 2024. On today's edition, I'm not alone in the studio. I've got a guest who is all smiley and looking like Eid Mubarak in a corporate way. Anthony Momodu, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us today.
Always a pleasure to be on the Discourse.
How are you doing? How is the whole celebration going? Is your teeth still intact?
Yes, we have an amazing GM who served us something so delicious, and it's carrying us like forever.
Oh, it's carrying you forever. Okay, that's good. So, Tom, how prepared do you think INEC are for the forthcoming election?
I think technically you say there are still preparations is still on. Already we've seen series of meetings with civil society organizations. At a point they had meetings with media outfits in terms of informing them as regards INEC's plan and how they expect media, the role they expect the media to play in ensuring a free, fair, and credible elections in Edo and Ondo State. So they also had a series of meetings with the political parties in terms of the expectations from the political parties, how to ensure that their stalwarts, their supporters behave right and do not cause mayhem before, during, and after the elections. The key roles party agents have to play, and also the various aspirants, how they are supposed to behave orderly on the day of the elections, and also talking to the parties on how to eliminate that era of vote buying and selling during the elections. Then for security agencies, also the key role they have to play to protect electoral materials, sensitive and non-sensitive, and how well they should be at polling units and centers at the right time, how they must use their tools, defensive tools, devices like their guns or tear gases, the right time when they should use and not use it. Also, for the civil society organizations, aside the civil society organization, we had the stage where the election observers were also in the picture as regards them not being partisan to any of the political parties and report adequately what they see or perceive that can be changed over time. These are some of the series of meetings INEC has done over the weeks and months leading to the elections. But that's not to say they're completely ready, because we've seen what played out in Edo State, for instance, where the continuous voter registration exercise was supposed to commence, but because of flood and destruction of sensitive and non-sensitive materials in Edo State practically called out INEC to halt that process, but INEC refused and did continue the exercise. So it's going on. At a point, we had 20,000 new persons, electors have registered, which was good news. But at the same time, ANEC, on the flip side, now later on, after the process had begun, assured that they were going to replace those materials, furnitures, and equipment that got damaged in the ANEC offices. We also saw a move where the registration was not domiciled in the local government or wards anymore. It was taken to the state offices and INEC offices, headquarters, for those registrations to go on because of certain reasons, security reasons, and to ensure transparency in the whole process. If you look at all that, you say, okay, technically INEC is ready, but on the flip side, in terms of the political parties, INEC is not completely satisfied with how the parties have conducted themselves in terms of the primaries that took place. We had all the primaries were shady. We had multiple results in all the primaries. For instance, using Edo State as a case study, where each of the political parties had two candidates coming out as aspirants and candidates emerging for all the political parties, which caused rancor. And this technically is a recipe for chaos during and after the elections, because, for instance, in Eduna, where Philip Schreiber already now is still having issues with his party, he was impeached, and now he's throwing his weight behind the APC candidate, Amonde Okpebolo, and just in the last 24 hours, we've seen the PDP national come out to tell Shaibu he has to quit the PDP because he's supporting the opposition party. So there are likely to be skirmishes in terms of internal democracy seem not to exist among political parties in Nigeria, and that's something worrisome for INEC, which Professor Mahmoud Yakubu has harped upon, the fact that political parties seem not to have the remedy to develop internal democracy, where the processes of getting the right candidate for each party comes out smoothly without any rancor. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges INEC has. Then the issue of the electorate also, collection of PVCs, permanent voters card, is another issue INEC has raised, where the thousands of cards, PVCs, have not been collected in some states, including Edo and Ondo. And there's been deliberate attempt by INEC to sensitize the populace on the need for them to collect the PVCs. And so that's another area we are looking at. Then in terms of voter apathy, is another issue. INEC has to do more to make the people believe that the process will churn out the candidates of their choice who they voted for.
Okay. We would come back, and then, a list has been released by INEC on the political parties and members who would be contesting in the 21st of April election, September election. But before we get into that, let's go on a quick break, and then when we come back, Midday Discuss continues. Please do stay with us. Jack?
It's time for sports' biggest moments on global television. The headlines, scores, breaking news, and commentaries on sporty events. Talking with the biggest players, strikers, and about the slam dunks and goals, stunning saves, near misses, and upsets. Let's talk about the greatest home runs, comebacks, knockdowns, and victories. Talk sports with the king of sports, Anthony Momadou. Weekdays, 10 a.m. Don't miss out.
Time check. It's midday. Then it's Midday Discourse. Midday Discourse is a program that covers trending local and international news current issues, and human-related topics. Join Samuel Odi weekdays 1 p.m. on Global Television. The discussion starts here.
With every government and introduction of new policies, businesses of all kinds and sizes seize the opportunity to evolve and redefine themselves. Business Point on Global Television is where we follow the money and put the facts and figures right in front of you. Watch Business Point every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. as Kikelamo Okeri tracks all the latest developments across critical sectors. Business Point, this is business.
In an ever-busy world, the increasing challenge of keeping track of health matters can be extremely demanding. Follow the latest health tips and trends on Health Guide on Global Television on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Health Guide on Global Television. Put your health first. Get ready for it. Inside Today brings you issues relating to family, peer pressure, drugs, substance abuse, societal and topical issues making rounds. Join Jumaine Manson on Global Television Monday to Thursday and it repeats every Friday. Time 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Don't miss out.
Are you a food lover? Do you care about your health and nutrition? Are you interested in exploring the diverse culinary traditions from around the world? Then look no further. Introducing Lunch Global on Global Television, a show that takes you on a delicious journey through the world of food, nutrition, and diet. So, whether you're a seasoned foodie, a health enthusiast, or simply curious about the world of food, Lunch Global has something for everyone. Tune in Mondays to Fridays and let your taste bud take you on a journey of flavor, culture, and discovery on Lunch Global. Bon appetit!
Is the desk on Global Television?
Nigeria! Come join Anthony Mamadou on television's most compelling and facts-finding talk live show.
We are definitely,
Can we not say that again?
because
That this country gets it right.
who are these bandits?
It's the Dex on Global Television, where we analyze and dissect storming issues and commentaries in the world's biggest black nation, Nigeria.
Who is being held accountable for this money?
The eyes have it.
We stay and decide policies and reforms on the Dex. Tune in Mondays to Fridays, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on Global Television. Let's stay on the Dex. For an insightful idea that takes the center stage and the conversation that gets beyond the headlines, to explore the lasting impact of political decisions, Big Talk got you covered. From policy debates to geopolitical insights, from thought-provoking discussions to actionable insight,
What is the real responsibility of government?
Big Talk delves deep into the heart of the matter. Join us weekdays on Global Televisions from 6:30 p.m. for a reverting journey into the heart of politics, where we dissect issues shaping our society.
And many thanks for staying with us. And we're back. If you're just joining us, this is Midday Discourse live on Global Television. So we've been talking about technological impact on Nigerian electoral system. So before we get into that aspect deeply, a list has been released by INEC of a total of 17 political parties, 17 governorship candidates, 16 male and a female. So now we have a female running for office, governorship office in Edo State. So what's your reaction to that? Is there a chance that the female governorship candidates can have a run against 16 male?
Well, I think we've always had a call for women participation in politics. Just barely 2 weeks ago, we had the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, come out to say there's a dire need for women beginning from the secondary school to be taught and encouraged to get into politics as a way of giving the women the chance to participate in politics actively, and not just participate at the fringe level, but become major players. Because what we see in political parties is they just get the post of women leader, and that's the best they get. But going forward, women should be allowed and given the space to come out as flag bearers of the main political parties as a way of opening the political landscape for women to participate in politics. And also the issue of support, financial support. Women should be given that financial power to be able to, contest with the men, giving a level playing ground for women to be able to participate in elections without being scared of the financial power of the men or the brutality or the violence involved in politics. That once those things are taken off, it's going to give the women that chance. We've been hearing the Women Affirmation Initiative action for women.
Yes.
This is a time for women. We've got about 60 plus civil society organizations in Nigeria, most of them women. And this is a time for the women to support women initiative to come into play, because the key thing, statistics and election observers shown in data released recently after the 2023 election was the fact that women were key voters during elections. They were the main participatory stakeholders. And so this is time where market women leaders, the farmers, and all women groups should back the women for a change. And also on the part of the electoral process, the political parties, they should have more confidence in the women being able to deliver the goods. We've seen women lead in other countries, in Germany, with Merkel lead. We've seen Margaret Thatcher in the UK. We've seen Salif Johnson in Sierra Leone, right here in African continent. So we've seen a lot of women lead, and it's not impossible for Nigerian women have done great things. We've seen Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala lead the World Trade Organization, which is the biggest in the world. And for her to lead amongst other women in the world shows they've got quality. We've seen Amina Mohammed in the United Nations. So we've got women with quality that can deliver the goods. All they need is that chance to deliver the goods and proper, support from even INEC itself, because INEC is another major factor. Just recently, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood, at a lecture, 2024 lecture on the importance of professionalism in the electoral process, where the DG of the Electoral Institute, in the person of Abubakar Momo, was honored. Later, Abubakar was honored. He talked about the importance of professionalism, where INEC officials have to be professional, because when they're professional, it gives even the electorates that confidence that their vote will count. It gives the electoral process that right mentality, because the right things are done. And professionalism also gives integrity to our electoral process. So these are how key, this can be for the women folk. I think the fact that even a woman is coming out is also a good challenge and inspiration to other women. But how far she goes will determine on the support she gets from fellow women and also the men folk, because it's not just about women to women, but even the men folk. If you believe she can get the job done, the men should come out, vote for her, and INEC, like I said, on their own part, ensure that the process is not rigged at their own end, back end, so that the will of the people would prevail.
Okay, let's look at technology now. In the just concluded election of 2023, INEC came out to say beavers had issues and they couldn't upload. Then at some point they just had to announce who the winner of the election was. So what major role now can technology now play in terms of having the adequate results and the people's choice being uploaded right there at the polling unit?
I think this is where INEC has been constantly held responsible for dragging the electoral process to mud when INEC says the beavers are suddenly not working. Or what is seen or delivered at what is seen at the coalition center is different from what is announced at the end of the day. For the issue of beavers, I think INEC have done 1, 2, 3 elections, by now they should be getting it spot on. We shouldn't be having issues of beavers anymore because they've done it again and again. So it's something they're used to. Then in terms of the coalition center, civil society organizations, like the European Union Observer Team and other observing missions have called on the need for on the spot coalition where whatever is gotten from the ward and the centers, once it's transmitted to INEC, it should be spot on. It's something that we don't have to wait for time for it to be calculated. It should ordinarily just summon itself.
Yeah, an algorithm that will just calculate it.
It's straight ahead. We don't need any human interference for us to get the actual result of what's the voting that has taken place in the different wards. But the issue of electricity, power, the issue of poor connectivity and all that is still playing a major role. That's where this INEC and other political parties can shortchange the electorate, because at that point anything can transpire, and that's where INEC is being held responsible to ensure that those areas or those lapses are closed up, so that we can be sure that whatever is happening at the wards and the polling units is what we see at the coalition center, and we should have less human interference. Let the technology take it to from the beginning of where the thumbprint is done to where the coalition is made and result announced, without the issue of saying we're waiting for the resident electoral resident officer to come make the announcement. Should be gone, because that's what we saw play out in Edo State, where the resident electoral officer announced a different thing. The chairman, who is Imo State Governor, Hope Uzodimma, announced a different thing. So we had two different results by two different persons who were supposed to supervise that process. So I think if we're looking at technology, let's put it on technology and allow technology to do its work, rather than making rooms for where there will be human interference and so lead to rigging or shortchanging the will of the people.
Time is no longer our friend. So tell me, what's the final approach you feel that the INEC and the political parties, what approach do you think they should take in enforcing or in making sure that the election goes free and fair without any with lots of human interference?
I think the key is just the use of technology, ensuring that beavers work adequately, ensure there's steady power supply, ensure that when these results are transmitted, it's live on the go and the result is gotten. Both parties see the result and is collated and announced immediately without waiting for any resident electoral officer to come tell us a different story. And also on the part of the political parties, they should also be steadfast, being honest with the process, allow the process go without hitches, because that's why we see a lot of litigations at the end of each electoral process. Litigation from the primaries, where within the parties there are issues. And also INEC also has to be up and doing. INEC is supposed to be responsible to tell us this primary, we certify it that this is the true candidate. Once you certify that this candidate is the true candidate for that election, we shouldn't have a business where after the election somebody is filing litigation saying I was a rightful person when INEC was there, because that's the essence of having INEC being there gives this credibility. But once INEC is not there, it means it's not credible. It means it wasn't recognized by law. So I think INEC has to stand by its feet and not play politics. And not try to infringe on the process.
Thank you so much, Anthony, for your input on today's edition.
Being here.
Yes, so that's how much time will permit us to take today on today's edition of Midday Discuss. And I will be seeing you all tomorrow with another edition of the program. You have a great day ahead. Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Odi.